By the way, did you notice how like literally almost everybody now has their own channel on 47th Street? Like it, I think Moses got his friend, what's his name? Benny.
It's entertainment.
Then this one, and now they all have social media. They're piggybacking off each other, and it's like ballooned out of control.
The watch industry specifically.
Oh, the watch industry has gone wild.
Right. So now that had, the prices have gone up so high and so down and this and that. So the watch industry, those guys had to do something different. Right. So social media was that something different, because what happened was there was this huge hype during COVID. A lot of people were buying watches. They weren't buying vacations, so on and so forth. There was a lot of extra money that was around. Then COVID ended, and then a lot of these guys disappeared. They just couldn't, as the industry went down, they weren't doing the same volume as they were, and then there was this whole, so then social media came in and turned it into entertainment, part of it, and that entertainment made it super popular. Now that popularity then converted into sales, and that's totally fine, and that's a really cool way of doing it, and it's really fun. Do you understand a lot of that stuff is fake? A lot. I would say
all the negotiations.
Yeah,
funny thing is they sell to each other most of the time. Like
it's hocus pocus, right? So, or it was never sold, or so on and so forth. Or maybe I'll do a negotiation with you. Okay, we're done doing the negotiation. Now we're going to change the prices, right? And then we're going to film it, right? So, so for me, when I see that, I'm like, is it dishonest? It's entertainment, but I don't know. It's not. I do not want to do that. I'm happy to do education online. I'm happy to do, but to follow through a deal, kind of is interesting as well. It might be something that I would do once or twice, but it's not like I'm going to take the diamond from here, I'm going to take it from there and do this and do that and so on and so forth. I mean, the reality is, if you watch my timeline through a client, right? So I meet client decides that they want something, right? I source that. If I don't have that that diamond in stock, I source that diamond. I'm looking at between 30 and 60. And that would kind of be the fun part, is actually me going through, looking at diamonds, going to a different office, looking at more diamonds, politely declining diamonds from diamond dealers, and then going from there to the, going from there, showing those diamonds back to the client. It's very, showing the diamonds to the client being exciting, choosing their diamond, taking that diamond, taking it to my manufacturing facility, making the ring from scratch. Then after making the ring from scratch, putting the diamond into the setting, then from the setting, handing it to the customer. That is the process. To film that would be that would be a slog.
you would literally have to hire somebody.
And then also,
to do it.
The offices that I walk in, people are not allowed to walk into.
Yeah.
I mean,
unless you start wearing
I
those
walk
goggles,
into offices
like the Oculus.
I know, but I have to tell the guy, right? I mean, I walk into an office. I'm not going to say their name, but I've walked into an office. There's $30 million on the guy's desk.
Yeah.
Easy. I mean, I'm lowballing. There's 3 or 4 diamonds on his desk that are worth over $1 million each. That's $5 million. And then there's these stacks of boxes on his desk, and it says between 3 and 5 carat emerald cuts in this huge box, and it's just sitting on that box by itself is $7 million worth of diamonds in there, at least. If the box is half empty, it's still $5-10 million in there. And there's boxes and boxes and stuff like that just on their desk, and that person doesn't want to be famous, right? Because then
they get stalked.
There's a security issue. I mean, that's been my biggest reason of not wanting to be like social media famous. Is like, okay, well, then I'm gonna walk around with security. I'll never be able to wear a watch. I
hear all these stories now. People getting mugged and the.
Exactly. And do I really want to shoot somebody over a watch or anything like that? I just want to. I want to live my life. I want to educate people. I want to make jewelry for people, and I also want to live my life too. Right? So That's all. I mean, how many people in my industry have been not just mugged, but have been kidnapped and taken home, or been kidnapped in their homes, taken to their stores, and been forced to open their safes?
Yeah.
This stuff happens.
Insurance doesn't cover that kind of stuff, or they do?
They do. But do you really want to go through that?
No.
And who's to say that you're going to live?
Yeah.
It happens, right? So
yeah, crime's on the rise now too. Like people getting jacked with watches and all this stuff. I just heard
it's been happening in Orange County. There was a RM.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was in Irvine parking lot, not like right here.
Right down the street. Yeah. Exactly.
That's crazy.
And the thing is, what's that guy going to do with the watch? Those guys are idiots, especially in RM.
Why,
there's 10 of these watches on the planet. Where are they going to sell it? To who?
Well, just like the jewelry thing. Maybe somebody knows.
Yeah, it's $200,000 watch. Okay, how much are you going to get for it? Maybe 20.
Because it's stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, if I have it, let's say some guy buys it. Well, you can't service it. Okay, you can't. So if anything happens to the watch is dead, right? You might be able to take it to a watchmaker to like service it, but not repair it.
So that
won't be able to repair it.
Same is true with Rolexes too, or no?
Rolexes are serialized, but the thing is, then you just can't service it. But and when you take it to the service center, then the service center will grab it.
Yeah, but like normal watch people will service it.
A watchmaker will service it, yeah, because they're not running it through a database, because Rolex specifically doesn't make their database public.
And RM people normally don't service with regular watchmakers.
Regular watchmakers generally won't take in an RM, because if something happens to the watch, you can't just order a part from RM. RM wants to see the watch.
That makes sense. Kind of like Ferrari and stuff.
Yeah, for the warranties and stuff like that. Yeah, and then also like you can't order this specific part that was made by RM. Anyway, from who? You can't order it from a third-party company. You have to try and get it from RM. RM won't sell it to you. You have to send in the watch.
Do you do watches as well or no?
I dabble in watches. I'm more of a watch collector. But yeah, if you want a watch, I can probably source it for you, or I can tell you where it is specifically, and you just grab it yourself.
What are the brands that you really like?
Minimum Rolex. That's honestly the minimum brand that I would generally recommend, because most of my clients are saying, I want to buy a watch, but I don't want it to lose in value. Okay, so you can buy a used Breitling and for $2,000, and it'll probably always be worth $2,000. But will it go up in value? Will it stay? I don't know. But Rolex is not a stylish watch in the sense of that they change their styles very consistently.
Right.
So they usually have a style run that runs like 20 years until they modify it in some way.
And the collectors will pretty much get even the older. If you get a rare piece of a Rolex, then it's always going to hold its value.
Oh, my recommendation is always get an older one.
Especially rarer one.
Oh yeah, because the older it is, then the sooner it'll become vintage.
Yeah, and it's already ate up all of its depreciation at that point.
That's the thing is there's no depreciation in Rolexes anymore, because a 1985 Rolex Submariner sold back in the day for, I don't know, it was like $2,500. That watch is minimum $6,500, case alone, no band, no box, no papers. It's just like, yeah, it's just, they've all appreciated.
What do you think about Land Dweller?
I like it.
I think it's cool. Have you seen it in person?
Yes, I've seen it in person. I'm not in love with it. I just love that it has an open case back, where you can actually see the movement now. It's really, really cool. It's the same.
Well,
with
they had
Daytona.
it on Cellini, I think, or
there was one Cellini 100 years ago. Whatever. But the thing is, face up, it didn't look pretty.
Oh no, it wasn't Cellini. You're right. The new Daytona has open.
The new Daytona has an open case back as well.
Yeah.
So that they're great.
I think they're gonna start doing it on newer models. If I had to guess,
we'll see.
That's
yeah,
not gonna
I
be
don't. Again, I do not have a crystal ball.
The cool thing about the Land Dweller is the movement is insane. I think it's the best one that they've ever made, and also it feels good on the hand.
I think the Sky Dweller, in my opinion, is a nicer movement. but it's also more complicated. I like more complicated stuff. Yeah, I'm more into more complicated and more rare on the Rolex side. So like, for example, today I'm wearing a Prezi. It's a 41. 41s, they only made from 2012 to 2017, something like that. Somebody will correct me in the comments, but they only made them for a short run.
I didn't even know they make 41s. I thought it was only 40.
Only for a short run.
Wow.
Now, and then they went from there back down to 40.
Smart. Can I see it?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When did you buy it? What year is this?
I think that one's a 2014.
That's class.
I have to look at the receipt.
Very classy.
Yeah.
And it has diamonds on the...
that's what, I had to get it. I had to.
Rolex puts good diamonds, I'm assuming, but they're all
D-flawless, yeah.
Yeah. And is that true with all the watch companies? They always use...
I don't know about all of them, but higher-end watch companies will only use the really high-end diamonds. So like Omega Plus will only use high... So Omega, and then what's above them... I mean, again, if you're going to tier them, so then you have Omega, then you have Rolex, then after Rolex, then the arguments start. Then you have AP, and then, so everything above that is going to have really high-quality diamonds if it has diamonds in it at all.
I like the small independent watchmakers now. Just like H. Moser.
RBNF, H. Moser. Yeah, there's some really, really cool, interesting stuff that's out there. My only problem with those watches is that, like, I can go to the shooting range with this watch and not worry that it's going to be broken. Where if I were to wear a Moser, Tourbillon, whatever, I'm not swimming with that watch.
Yeah.
This, I take it in the ocean, I swim with it, I do whatever. I'm not like worried about it. I just throw it, So as you can see, it's got scratches, it's beat up, and then I've got this. I have a few other Rolex. I've never had any problems with any of my Rolexes, but my my smaller house watches, I've had to take them in for more service than I'd have liked to.
I have a Omega.
I'm not going to name who.
I have an Omega that my daughter picked up one time. I left her on the table. She was 2 years old. That was my fault. I left her on the table. I went outside into the patio. She picked up the watch, and I closed the door behind me like a glass door. She's like, "Daddy, take your watch."
I love it. And it's still working.
No, it stopped.
Oh, that one's not working.
Well, not only that, then she dropped it on the floor. I run to the thing. I look at it. It was minor scratches on it, but the movement stopped working. It's a chronograph moon phase Speedmaster.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to send it in, and they fixed it under warranty. Thank God.
Nice.
They didn't ask why it stopped working or whatever. I just said it doesn't work, and they fixed it. But then it stopped again. I sent it again, and they sent it back second time. Now it's out of warranty, I think. It's been 5 years, so I'm kind of...
But it's been working ever since.
Yeah. I barely wear it, though. I don't know. I just stopped wearing it for some reason.
Keep wearing it. You got to keep wearing it.
Yeah. I tend to wear some of my other stuff. Today I'm not wearing anything.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, come on, you're interviewing a jeweler today.
I came to work and I forgot to watch.
Not even wearing your wedding band today. What is wrong?
No, I never wear wedding bands. There's a thing like in Judaism about not wearing. Men shouldn't wear too much jewelry because that's what usually women wear. Watches, I see it as an exception to the rule.